My name is Anthoneth Jeffrey, also known as Desi by many people. A lot of them think that Desi is just a nickname, but it's actually the shortened version of my middle name, which is Desian. I'm a worship leader at my church. I'm very passionate about worship. I've been doing it since I was like a teenager, and it's just a passion of mine. I love God. I care a lot about people, and I consider myself to be a beautiful, strong black woman who has finally learned to love herself for who she is, not just love what's on the inside, because I always knew that I was a good person on the inside, but I never loved what I look like on the outside. And I have finally learned to love and appreciate the way that God created me. My purpose is to be a motivator and an encourager to everyone who needs that encouragement and who needs hope, whether it be through a song, through my worship leading, or my own words of encouragement, or scripture from the Bible. One of the easiest things for me is to give a word of encouragement and to bring hope. My purpose will be completed the day that I leave this earth, because giving encouragement and motivating someone is something that will be done continually. One part of my purpose also that still haven't been realized yet or completed is being a motivational speaker for women with depression, especially black women and also youth. The most trying time in my life was when I was diagnosed with clinical depression in 1999. Before that, I wasn't aware what depression was, but after getting the knowledge about depression, I realized that I have been suffering with depression, more or less anxiety, since during my childhood. And I had one small bout of depression when I was 15. As a child, I never loved who I was. I had a problem with this physical body. I had a problem with my complexion. I thought I was too dark. I didn't like my nose. I thought it was too flat. I thought I was too fat. And that, together with hearing people say negative things to me like, "You're ugly," I internalized all these things, and it really affected me, and I actually believed it about myself, and that contributed a lot towards my depression throughout my life. I was never happy. I would always be sad. And when I was diagnosed with the depression is when it reached a really bad stage, and it was a very terrible time. It was a very trying time in my life. There were a lot of days when I would spend days just crying, feeling hopeless, just feeling that I'm in this dark place, thinking about death every single day, having insomnia. And at that point, I was forced to make a decision. It's either I was going to lose my mind, I was going to die, or I choose to make changes to live. And I chose to live. So at that point, I started to examine myself, make changes, start seeing myself differently. And depression is something that not a lot of people speak about, especially like in the church. It seems like if it's a taboo kind of thing, the first thing they think about it's a spirit. But depression is something that's real. Just like you have other different sicknesses, you have diabetes, you have hypertension, all these different things. It's caused by certain things in your life, and it's the same thing with depression, and people need to be more educated about it. It was a struggle for me, but I took a step back and I needed to heal. I had a lot of people around me who encouraged me and who prayed with me, but in order to deal with it, it mainly comes from me. I had to take hold of myself and start changing my thought patterns and start loving myself, start doing things to make me feel better and to bring me out of that depression. And it took me years. I was also on medication. I had a lot of anxiety. But as of 2010, things have, taken a turn. I no longer take medication. I'm able to manage my depression. Actually, I don't really have problem with the depression, sometimes a bit of anxiety, but I've come a long way, and I'm at that point where I am enjoying my life, and I have taken hold of myself to overcome the depression. I'm not 100%, but I'm almost there. It also allowed me to be a stronger person and to make life changes. So it was a bad experience, but it brought about a lot of good in my life. What I know now that I wish I knew 5, 10, 20, 25 years ago is that you can be dark-skinned and have a flat nose and be chunky and still be beautiful. That doesn't define your beauty. And I wish I knew that no matter how I look, I was still beautiful. One quote that gets me through life is, whatever you do, do it with a spirit of excellence. I hate mediocrity. I like to strive for excellence. Whatever I do, I like to give it my all. I started college really late. And when I started, I was determined that I was going to make that A every semester. I mean, a few times I fell short, but I pushed myself and I applied myself and I gave it my best. And with that, I got good results. I did my associate degree, I graduated with honors, I did my bachelor's degree, and I also graduated with honors, magna cum laude. So I believe that whatever you do, give it your best and approach it with a spirit of excellence. The words of wisdom that I would love to share with a young woman coming up is know who you are, love who you are, and accept yourself for who you are. You are unique. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. God didn't make a mistake when He made you. So you need to learn to love yourself and appreciate yourself for who you are. There is only one you, and you have a purpose, and always strive to fulfill that purpose. Women's lives matter.